What's up everybody, JJ Shankles, the Goat Toasters here. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today we've got some more tech news for you, so let's get into it. First story of the day is new fast internet. Researchers down in Australia may have found a way to increase your internet by a lot. Through existing fiber optic cables, they were able to get up to 44.2 terabits per second. The average US consumer usually gets about 50 megabits per second. This is 1,000,000 times faster internet than the average user usually gets. So this could be huge news. Current fiber optic systems are good, but our ability to modulate the light waves isn't as good as the technology could be. It's still in its infancy, and once we can break through and get more efficient ways of sending light through these fiber optic cables that are already there, we can see some huge advances in the coming years. Super exciting, because I know I would love some 44 terabit internet around here. This is a technology that allows just opening up of information between people. Uploading and downloading files would be as fast as accessing them on your hard drives or solid state drives on your local computer. More general news, YouTube, you can now tell it to tell you when to go to sleep. In a new update to YouTube, it allows you to set a bedtime, and at that time, it will remind you that you set this as your bedtime. It does allow you to snooze or dismiss the alarm, then you can stay up as long as you want. If you set the alarm more for weeknights, and then on the weekend you kind of just want to dismiss it, you can just pass it away. Or if you want to snooze for another 10 minutes, watch one more daily tech news video, I understand, you just want to watch them all. And maybe you should subscribe down below so you don't miss them. But that's beside the point. More big news in where the future could go. Scientists have discovered a way to create a lickable screen. You heard that right. You can taste through this screen. Technology got its basis on the ability that you can see through pixels and think you're looking at anything, but you're actually just looking at a bunch of pixels. The picture you're looking at that is me, it's just a bunch of RGB pixels and different ways that screens are made. But basically it's red, green, and blue pixels lighting up in a different combination and moving around so that when I move, it looks like you're looking at me. But you're not, you're looking at a blank screen of lights flickering around. So they took that same idea of food to break it down to the basics of salt, acid, bitter, sweet, and umami to be able to reconstruct any taste, so that if you licked this one thing while reconstructing those flavors together, theoretically they can make you taste anything through there. Very interesting idea. What if you could look at a menu and just lick it and know what it's going to taste like and whether you'll like it or not? Super interesting. It won't get the whole feeling of eating something, but the flavor could be sent through a screen. I love looking into what researchers are doing about forefront of technology, what they're advancing, what maybe we'll see 5-10 years down the road. Maybe lickable, tasteable screens. On to some hardware news. It's not as crazy as lickable screens, but it's a little more pertinent to where you are right now. But Raspberry 4 with a new update allows you to boot from a USB drive. That includes flash drives or even an SSD if you connect it through a SATA to USB cable, which is great for a Raspberry Pi. It allows you to boot different operating systems off of the USB drive. A great use case for this is if you're new to Linux and want to try out different operating systems, you can try a different Linux OS. You just put it in the USB, try it out, see if you like the feel, the look, how that operating system works. And if you don't, you pop it out, put a different flash drive in that has a different Linux OS on there. Then you get to try that one out. Super great for experimenting. It allows you to save the OS that you have on your micro SD card in your Raspberry Pi and try something new out, sort of your playground development area. And if you don't like it, you just pop it out, redo it. This is huge for developing things on the Raspberry Pi 4. News in the camera world, Nikon is now shipping their Nikon D6. I do enjoy Nikon cameras. I'm currently shooting on a Nikon Z6, but the D6 that's coming out is their top of the line professional series of cameras. This one will come with a 20 megapixel sensor, and we will be able to shoot up to 15 frames per second. Full mechanical shutter. That's extremely fast for something as large as 20 megapixels. These are very specialized professional cameras, mostly for sports or news photographers, where they need that rugged body and quick shutter speed, but not exactly a high resolution camera. Even the Z6 is a 24 megapixel, or you can get much larger cameras up to 50-60 megapixel cameras, but for the uses they're using it for online journalism or for printed magazines or newspapers, you don't need huge megapixels for those situations. And this camera is not cheap. It costs a whopping $6,500, but is now shipping to people. With it being the best and most expensive from Nikon, it's always exciting to see what technologies or sort of direction of the company might trickle down to its everyday user cameras in the future years. You know the world's going crazy when Tenet, the new movie by Christopher Nolan, is releasing their upcoming movie trailer inside Fortnite. This is one of the wildest crossover stories I think I've ever heard. A movie trailer wants to be released in a video game? That's just wild. But Fortnite has such a big audience currently, and especially during 2020, everyone's kind of stuck inside, and playing video games is great, and Fortnite has such a huge audience. They really wanted to reach a lot of audience with this big release, and it's never been done to release something as big as this inside of a video game, crossing over different areas of the internet space and different cultures on the internet and merging things like this. What's next? Your coffee maker is gonna have your next update for Pokemon Go advertised on it. Big news from Nvidia's AI technology. I think this is the best summary of what AI is. It watched 50,000 hours of Pac Man gameplay and then was able to create a playable clone of that game. That sums up what AI is. AI and machine learning, currently, they view a bunch of things and then they're able to recreate what it viewed a bunch of. So currently with AI, you can show it a bunch of pictures of a cat and kind of train it, this is what a cat looks like, here's a bunch of examples of cats. And then when you show it a different picture, you say, is this a cat? It'll tell you that's a cat. But this is super advanced beyond that. This is taking a bunch of, 50,000 hours of Pac-Man gameplay, and it can create a playable version. Crazy what this means for the future. It's not currently there, but in the future, if it could just watch a football game for long enough and then create the next Madden video game for the next year coming out, it would make a video game so much more lifelike if the game was tied to what the video saw the players do last year. Just little things like that would be just wild. More video game news. Minecraft expands into the RPG realm, similar to like a Diablo type game where it's top down, you're moving around the map, and it's called Minecraft Dungeons. Overall, from watching a bunch of reviewers talk about it, it seems like a good start to a game, but it's not a full-fledged game. It gets repetitive. A lot of the dungeons look very similar. The fighting isn't as advanced as they would like to see on it, but definitely an exciting space to see Microsoft expand Minecraft into other realms. Maybe we'll see if the next MMORPG is Minecraft based, or let's get a first-person shooter in there. I love when companies like as big as Microsoft takes a risk like this to expand Minecraft to a whole different audience. The RPG strategy type people can now get into Minecraft again. If they kind of get bored of one version of Minecraft, expanding the Minecraft world out into a bunch of other areas of Minecraft. It's such a fun, whimsical block world that it can easily be transformed into a whole different game style. The Minecraft world is definitely getting a bit bigger. On to the mobile world. Google is working on RCS messaging, but with end-to-end encryption technology. RCS is kind of the next technology after SMS and MMS, sort of texting technology. The RCS is the next version of it, and they're currently working to use end-to-end encryption technology on it, so all your messages and data will be encrypted, making your messages a lot more secure through the native Android Messages app. The future of the internet is definitely security, and that's one of the highest priorities of new technologies coming out is your data secure? Is that message you're sending to someone else secure and can't be seen by anyone else? Because a lot of important data gets sent through text messages. It should be at the forefront of our priorities that it is not able to be stolen by anyone in the middle, and this might be the key to getting us some secure messages in the future. It's always good to see hype about new startups coming out, and there's a new one trying to take on the smart speaker market. These are two former Apple engineers that worked on the HomePod, and with this new startup, they're going to try to take on the HomePod market, and the Sonos market was the other one they mentioned. Definitely a space that can be easily expanded. Sonos does just good speakers and a well-built system, but it is quite expensive. And similar with the HomePod, whereas Google and Alexa has much cheaper ones, but they're not that full sound that your Sonos has. Definitely, I think, a space that could be disrupted if you put good speakers and good technology together. But that about wraps up our news for the day. If anything I said was infactual or I missed any stories, make sure to comment them down below and I will mention them on the next episode. And while you're down there, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps this channel out with the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate every single one of you that watched all the way to the end and subscribed. Hope you guys have an amazing day out there. Stay safe, wash your hands a lot, but have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Go Toaster out.